Why Warren Buffett is leaving his kids with nothing. Warren Buffett is an incredibly rich man. With a net worth of $96 billion, it makes complete sense to leave his entire wealth to his 3 kids. However, it doesn't look like he's leaving his kids anything, and in today's video you'll see why. Stay tuned and watch. In 1986, the billionaire investor famously told Fortune that he would give his children enough money so that they would feel they could do anything, but not so much that they could do nothing. 36 years later, at age 91, Buffett maintains his children won't be receiving an inheritance from his $96 billion fortune. Yet this isn't completely the case, as half rose in his estate plans through their respective foundations. In addition to his stock market savvy, Warren Buffett is never short on pearls of parenting wisdom, especially for parents with a boatload of cash like himself. One of the billionaire's golden rules is to resist the impulse to give your kids everything just because you can. In his famous 1986 Fortune interview, Buffett said, "My kids are going to carve out their own place in this world, and they know I'm for them whatever they want to do." While speaking with the New York Times in 2006, Buffett's 3 kids made it clear that they always knew they weren't going to get a lot of inheritance from their dad. And Susie Buffett, Buffett's eldest child, revealed that they live a pretty standard childhood, all things considered. While Buffett has said that he never forced his kids to do anything they didn't want to do, which turned out to include college, as the trio wound up dropping out prior to graduations, his children understood his expectations concerning inherited wealth. Howard Buffett, the middle child, said, "It was always clear we were not going to get a lot of money. If my dad said, either you can have $50 million a year personally or $50 million a year for the foundations, I'd put it in the foundations. What would you do with $50 million if you didn't give it away?" Warren Buffett raised his kids in a normal household without extravagant luxuries, Susie explained. "I didn't really have any idea about any money until I was long out of high school and out of Omaha." She said she first realized her dad was more than a little wealthy when she read about him in the newspaper. "There was an article in the Wall Street Journal at one point where I was probably about 22 or 23, I'd say. That was the first time I was like, oh, there's more going on than I knew about." She also explained that since her father's wealth and fame came later, she and her brothers grew up in an upper middle class neighborhood, but nothing out of the ordinary. Her father went to the office every day and then headed home for dinner at night, just like most other people. Today, all 3 Buffett children are involved in philanthropy. Each of Warren Buffett's 3 kids has a particular cause that's especially dear to their hearts. And for the eldest, it's all about educations, families, and social justice. Her organizations, the Sherwood Foundations, previously named the Susan A. Buffett Foundations, has a simple mission statement. The Sherwood Foundations promotes equity through social justice initiatives enhancing the quality of life in Nebraska. Middle child Howard Graham Buffett is the sole Republican in the family and is involved in politics. Proud dad Warren told the Chicago Tribune, "Howard connects with people and he sympathizes with people who have not been as lucky in life." He added, he has his mother's genes. He really sees every person as a human being. It's not an act with him at all. He's always been that way. The youngest kid, Peter Buffett, meanwhile, is a critic of charitable giving. Peter Buffett has had some interesting and critical things to say about when charitable giving goes wrong. Namely, when he wrote a headline-making op-ed for the New York Times about what he called the charitable industrial complex. The 2013 article, which went viral, Peter wrote, "Early on in our philanthropic journey, my wife and I became aware of something I started to call philanthropic colonialism. I noticed that a donor had the urge to save the day in some fashions." Oh dang. He's not wrong though, and this kind of charity has been described as white saviorism before. The article sparked a ton of debate on the internet between those who were pleasantly shocked by the son of a billionaire's critique of capitalism and inequality, and those who thought he was giving capitalism a bad rap. Buffett's kids have carved out their own careers, albeit their father's help. The kids, now in their 60s, have $2 billion foundations funded by Buffett, the Washington Post reported in 2014. Buffett's note announced that he had donated $4.1 billion worth of his Berkshire Hathaway shares to 5 charitable foundations as part of his effort to give away 99% of his wealth by the end of his life, bringing his total donations tally to $41 billion. Buffett calls his philanthropy the easiest deed in the world because the giving is painless and may well lead to a better life for both of you and your children. He added, "Over many decades, I have accumulated an almost incomprehensible sum simply by doing what I love to do. I've made no sacrifice, nor has my family. Compound interest, a long runway, wonderful associates, and our incredible country have simply worked their magic. Society has a use for my money, I don't." That's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed watching this one. Thanks for watching.